Hi, I'm going to talk about project stakeholder management. So it is one of the nine knowledge areas. So in fact, this is the 10th knowledge area under project management knowledge area. So stakeholder map you have seen. This figure may be familiar. Now we'll little bit go deep into what the stakeholder management identification, who are the stakeholders, etc. Okay, I'm Ishan Veeratunga and I welcome you all for the presentation. Well, who is a stakeholder? Project stakeholders are individuals, groups, or organizations who may affect or be affected by or perceive themselves to be affected by a decision, activity, or outcome of a project. So it is a very complex situation. So it can be an individual, a group, or organization. Because of a decision, activity, or outcome of a project, they can be affect or they can affect on a project. So it's a throughout process, so no need to wait until the project is completed for stakeholders come into action. So they are comprised of persons and organizations such as customers, sponsors, the performing organization, and the public who are actively involved in a project or whose interest may be positively or negatively affected by the execution or completion of the project. We'll go a little bit deep into that one. Who is a stakeholder? So, in our day-to-day words, it say they may exert influence on the project and its deliverable. So they can exert a pressure on the project about the deliverables. Stakeholders may be at different levels within the organization and may possess different authority levels, or may be external to the performing organization for the project. So they can have a they can have different authority levels. They can have degrees of levels of authority. So they can have exert pressure on performing organization. It may be positive and it may be negative. So we have to identify what kind of thing is. Okay, now we know who the stakeholders are. Now, very important thing, in my previous presentation we did the communication management and I explained you about the communication is very important for stakeholders. Here, communication with stakeholders, I take one slide and explain you, focuses on continuous communication with stakeholders in order to understand their needs and expectations, address their issues as they occur, manage conflicting interest, and foster appropriate stakeholder engagement in project decisions and activities. So stakeholder satisfaction should be managed as a key objective. So this is a very important thing. So you have to understand the needs of different stakeholders. So they may be very primary level, they may be very high level, so they may have different objectives, they may have different pressure, they may have different power. So you have to identify and satisfy their objectives, because unless you satisfy the stakeholders, it is very difficult for you to gain the key project objective. So that is very important. Okay, now we know who are the stakeholders and we know if we have to communicate with them very continuously. So we have to now identify the stakeholders. Allow the project manager to identify the appropriate focus on each stakeholder or group of stakeholders. It is critical for project success to identify the stakeholders early in the project or phase. So this is very important. You have to identify the stakeholders at very early stage of the project. If not, if you miss out some early stakeholders, so there may be some repercussions later on. It's something like we can simulate this one to risk register. So if you have a risk register, if you have miss out certain risk factors, so later on if they all of a sudden emerge, so you will have no problem, no answers at all. So as the COVID-19, so nobody in world forecasted that kind of thing will happen. So entire country or entire world is shut down for about couple of months. Tsunami, we none of us Sri Lankans or the South Asians have any clue about tsunami. So that is a kind of a stakeholders and we have to have identify them at very stage. Okay, the identified stakeholders need to be analyzed. After you know who are the stakeholders, now you have identified, then next step is we have to analyze and classify it according to their importance, expectations, level of interest, involvement, influence. So it means basically their importance, power, influence, factors. You have to identify and analyze them. This enables the project manager to focus on the relationships necessary to ensure the success of a project. So as an example, I'll give a couple of practical examples. So even if you are involved in a project or something, so there may be if you are working for the contractor, the client and consultant, engineer organization, they may give you some couple of CVs or something. Okay, this person is a nephew of mine, this is a family friend, I am just helping them, or something like their relatives or families or friends for you to recruit. So normally very cunning or kind, I don't say cunning actually, very knowledgeable contractor would happy to help them and take them, because that is a kind of an obligation. It's not a kind of a bribe or something. It becomes an indirect obligation for the client or the consultant. Okay, now he has helped me. So contractor is looking at it as a measure of balancing out that stakeholder. So okay, I've helped you out, I have helped you out, so I expect a similar kind of help when I need it. So something like that. It's a balancing of power. Okay, identify stakeholders, tools and techniques. So stakeholder analysis, now we know who the stakeholders, identify, now we have to analyze and classify them. Stakeholder analysis is a technique of systematically gathering and analyzing quantitative and qualitative information to determine whose interest should be taken into account throughout the project. So throughout the project you have to quantify and analyze their power and their effect, and you have to get the information. Example of classification systems that could be used to analyze stakeholders: power and interest rate, so level of authority. If it is power combined with the level of interest, some people will have very high power, some people will have very high interest. Power and influence is again level of authority combined with the level of involvement. Some people influence, some people will have an interest, but some people will have an influence. So similarly, influence impact. Some people can have a big influence on the project, and they can have a big impact on the project also. So it's the matrix is becoming more complex actually. We came across influence, impact, power, etc., etc. Salient model. Power, ability to impose will, urgency, need to immediate action. Some people will demand immediate action, immediate compliance, and legitimacy, whether involvement is appropriate or not, are factors used to describe classes of stakeholders. Okay, now we have identified, we know who the stakeholders, we have identified. Now we have to map them. How can we map them? You have to identify their influence and impact relative to the project actually. Watch stakeholder activities as the project progresses. When the project progresses, some powers will be diminished, some powers will increase as their stake, influence and impact change. Be prepared to change your engagement strategy. Some people actually at the very early stage, some people would be needed, but later on you will get to know practically actually. You will get to know some high powerful people, so that you might not need the previous people. So that is a kind of a level you have to balance out. You should not forget the people who have helped you, because they will be end of the day later on you will be needing. I'll give another example, something like if it is a water boat tender or something, if it is a water boat construction, you want to lay pipes, so you may be very good with general managers and other people, ministers and other things, but end of the day you are going to deal with the technical officer or the site engineer who is in charge of the site. So you will have to have a good rapport, public relationship with them, so you can't forget them. So you have to manage that stakeholders also, because otherwise you can't always go for the big people for even small things. That is the way to manage. Okay, now let's go for stakeholder analysis little bit in detail. So it is a matrix where project impact and the influence on the project. So it can be something like, I've just taken a prototype sample. So some people you have to collaborate. If their impact is high, if their influence is high, you have to collaborate with them. You have to have a sharing these things, because you can't conflict them like sponsors or something, because they are the people who is going to give you money. If you don't work, they can stop the money as well. So you have to collaborate. So then next is maintain confidence. Keep informed and be aware of the nature of their influence. Maintain confidence. So if their project influence is high, but they can't have a very big impact on the project. So something like so you have to have maintain a confidence, because if you have a confidence, they will not negatively impact you on that one. So okay, then the other thing is you have to keep informed. If somebody is having very high impact but they have a very low influence actually. They don't have big power as the like the collaborative people. So what you have to do is you have to keep informed, okay, you have to keep them in the loop and other things. The other thing is monitor and respond. So the lowest level is low impact, low influence people. You have to monitor and respond. They are the day-to-day people, so they have some minor matters. You have to respond them, you have to attend them. If it is at site level, no need of the project manager to go and involve with that. You can give some subordinates, you can monitor and respond. So best thing is you can delegate or you can appoint some junior level people for you to work with those things. So this is a kind of stakeholder analysis and mapping. I'll go for another detail actually in this one, meet their needs. So again I say the key people is the sponsors kind of thing. Key people are focused on efforts, that the pink color one. So then the next one is impact is high, they can give show consideration. So that the off white one. So the least important people is in front, where you have to communicate newsletters and nothing. You have to engage. Similarly, you have to meet their needs and other things in the yellow one. So this is the stakeholder map actually. I will give you an assignment or a kind of a work study method for you to learn how to make this stakeholder mapping, because this is a very important deliverable in a project, because stakeholder mapping, risk register, procurement plan, communication strategy, these things are the real deliverables of any project, because unless you cannot develop these documents on your own, we can't really say that you are competent in the discipline of project management. Okay, then we have to plan the stakeholder management, provide a clear actionable plan to interact with people, stakeholders, to support the project interest. Identifies how the project will affect its stakeholders. Stakeholder management plan is the main output. So you have to come up with a stakeholder mapping, and after that you have to come up with a stakeholder management plan. That is a project document which you have to update regularly. So then we will go for again for plan stakeholders, tools and techniques. Analytical techniques. The engagement level of stakeholders can be classified as follows. Unaware of the project and potential impact. You can't have that one, you have to aware of them. Resistance, aware of the project and potential impact and resistant to change. So some people are always resistant to change, you have to deal differently. Neutral, aware of the project yet supportive or not resistant. These are the very important people, because they are so far neutral. If they can be potentially very big negative, so kind of politicians and other things. So you have to engage them. Supportive, aware of the project and potential and input. Supportive people also you have to keep on tackling them, because if not, the support will become negative as well. So leading, so they are the very supportive people. Probably you can call them the fans of the project, aware of the project potential impacts and actively engage in ensuring the project success. Okay, stakeholder engagement assignment metrics. So we don't know, sometimes I have put them into the 5 different columns: unaware, resistant, neutral, supporting, leading, stakeholder 1, 2, 3. You can put A, B, C, D. So you can have a stakeholder metrics also. These are different tools: stakeholder mapping, stakeholder register, stakeholder metrics. Finally, we have to come with a stakeholder management plan. Through this analytical process, gaps of the current and desired engagement levels can be identified. Actions and communications required to close these gaps can be identified by the project team using expert judgments. These are the very important things. Okay, so how do we manage stakeholders? So the managing and benefits, there are a lot of benefits. Increase the chance of a project success, because if you manage the stakeholders positively, it increases the chance for your project success. Help stakeholders to understand the benefits and risks associated with the project, you thus securing their involvement and support. Minimize resistance from stakeholders. Keep the project on track by resolving stakeholder issues. Project manager is responsible for stakeholder management. Take this word very seriously. Risk register, stakeholder management and communication strategy. These should be handheld document of project managers every time, because if anything goes wrong with stakeholders or something, they can be a catapulting effect negatively. Similarly, communication strategy, these days social media and other things are there. You can have a very different things, very badly you can have impact. So risk register, unless you have all the risks are managed, but still couple of risks can be popped up. So then you can have a big impact on the project. So these kind of things will have to have a direct impact, so you have to manage them very carefully. Okay, stakeholder engagement approach. We'll take another few tools of getting how to engage. Engagement approach can be partnerships, participation, consultations, push communication, pull communications, etc. Shared accountability and responsibility. If it is a partnership, participation, part of team is there, we can participate. Consultation, you can get their judgment. And then the push communication means one way engagement. Pull means one way engagement, but information available, stakeholders choose whether to engage with that. So push communication means mass media kind of thing, podcast, video, leaflets, newsletters, etc. So this is a kind of choosing the stakeholder engagement approach. The diagram illustrates the relationship between influence or power and the stakeholder engagement. Influence, power and engagement. So this is the matrix, or this is the pyramid. When it goes to the pyramid, greater effort of fewer stakeholders, because at the bottom level you have many more stakeholders, but their impact is less. But you can't ignore them, because they are the foundation. So when it goes to the top, actually you can have probably mostly actually the top level stakeholders easy to manage and easier to deal with, because there are a lot of business dealings and deals and other things, etc. But ground level there are masses, so you have to deal with them actually. Probably communication kind of thing. So that is the thing. Bottom level is very important. At early stage of the project, bottom level will be important, and you have to engage them with very greater care. Okay, so manage stakeholder engagement tools and techniques. So you have to have some skills, interpersonal skills. The project manager applies interpersonal skills to manage stakeholders and expectations. For example, they have to build trust, resolving conflict, active listening. So you have to be very actively listen, overcoming resistance to change. What is this all about? These all are communication. So that is why I am telling again, communication and stakeholder management are like two sides of the coin. They are going side by side. Okay, interpersonal skills. Second one is management skill. The project manager applies management skills, coordinated and harmonize the group towards accomplishing the project objective. For example, facilitates consensus towards project objective, influence people to support the project. So interpersonal skills, management skills, all the things. The other things are also coming. Negotiate agreements to satisfy needs, modify organizational behavior, maintain increase and efficiency of effectiveness of stakeholder engagement activities. So stakeholder engagement should be continuously monitored and controlled. So these all are soft skills of a project manager. So you have to be very carefully analyze them. So finally, we are coming towards end. Control stakeholder engagement, work performance information, change request, project documents, update, stakeholder register, issue log. So these kind of things, registers and track devices that we have. Finally, I'll be summing up with a statement of Warren Bennis. So he's an American scholar actually. He's a leadership consultant. He has told once, understand stakeholder symmetry. Find the appropriate balance of competing claims by various groups of stakeholders. Because take an example, if a road is to be built, one people will say it is good, one people will say bad. So you can't satisfy. You have to balance out the thing. So this is the message. So stakeholder analyzing and stakeholder identifying, stakeholder managing means always balancing out. You have to be a bit cunning and you have to be very negotiable. Interpersonal skills, personal level approach, PR skills, managerial skills, all the things will be coming to this one. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed my lecture.